I heard about Ivan's case when he was acquitted in October 2010. I was intrigued when I saw him on television. He looked so calm, and that kind of astounded me because he just spent 27 years in jail as a sex offender. There were 8 women whose sexual assaults, with whose sexual assaults he was charged. 6 of those women attended the lineup May of 1982, where the police were holding Henry's head in a chokehold. After that lineup, the detectives who were then in charge said, we can't use any identification evidence gleaned from that lineup because it's ridiculous and unreliable and so on. And that case would have died at that point, but for Detective Bill Harkema. Bill took over the file in June, and right away found a woman. A woman had been raped very recently after the lineup, after it had all gone away. He had this woman taken down to the VPD headquarters in Vancouver and hypnotized by another detective who actually was a member of the lineup. So a guy intimately involved in the case, which is an absolute no-no. No controls over the hypnosis. We don't know what she was told, what suggestions were given to her, what photos were shown to her, nothing. The next day, Bill Harkema goes to her apartment, interviews her for 3 hours, and the next day goes back and interviews her for another 3 hours. The amount of his notes are about this long, so much for a transcript of his interview. Shows her a biased lineup array, which is a series of 7 photographs. She picks the one with the only man standing in front of a jail cell. There are literally bars behind Ivan Henry's head. All the other people in the photo array look like university students. Once he had that, then he resuscitated the identifications from the lineup. There was one other person, and now we have a total of 8 women whose cases end up going to trial. He served 27 years. He had been declared a dangerous offender, which means you're never getting out. By a fluke, it was learned in the early 2000s during the Robert Pickton investigation that there were a bunch of cold rape files that looked a lot like Ivan's. The only problem was he was in jail when these rapes occurred. New police, of course, got to work on this. They discovered that at least 25 women had been raped after Ivan was in jail, and possibly as many as 50. And those are simply the reported rapes. And that's why his case was reopened. He wants his day in court. He's been living with this for a long time.